Hey guys, so I decided to make a video on repasting the skyroutine. We have the skyroutine in here and I just bought some liquid metal, some Conductonaut Extreme. So we have the same thermal paste that is used in the machine and we will be reapplying the liquid metal because my temps kind of suck. So basically in Cinebench R23, in a multi-score benchmark, I got like 26.6K, which is bad. So if you have like a good pasting done, you should be getting around 30,000 by default. So I got 26.6K. Some of my cores have 10 degrees Celsius higher temperatures compared to others. So I definitely have a temperature issue. The thing is, this CPU that I have here, I think it's quite good and has potential for some good undervolting because I did like minus 180 on the P cache, minus 130 on the E cache, and minus 145 on the core, and it was stable. So I was getting like 33K results with this laptop that I have in here and with the bad pasting that it has. So if I will manage to make some good pasting on it, and I've done this before with liquid metal, I'm not afraid of it, I should be getting around 35,000. So I really want to do this because I don't like having a bad paste job, as I will have to repaste it in the future anyway. And I don't really care about the warranty. So the machine is good, I don't have any issues with it. So let's get into this. So let me get in here. I hope the lighting is good enough. I managed to get some sort of lighting for this. So I will just be unscrewing the laptop right now. And just remember that this will take some time. So if you want to skip through the video and get straight to the point, you can do that. But you can see the entire procedure if you want. This won't take that long. I bet it will take around, let's say, 30 minutes or maybe 20 minutes. I won't try to rush things because I don't want to screw anything up. So basically we will just remove the bottom panel. And once we do that, we will just unplug the battery cable, the battery connector, and from there we will just unscrew the entire heatsink, and we will do what we have to do. So basically I also have, let me grab this one because it has some magnetic tip on it, right? So I also had to repaste the VRM and the VRAM, but I mean, I also have to do this, but I won't do it because I don't know exactly what paste they are using. I heard that you can get some K5 Pro or U6 Pro, like some thermal putty that does a great job and you don't need to use thermal pads. It's basically a thicker paste and it's good for VRM and VRAM. But I will just leave that the way it is. I know that when I will pull out the heatsink, that paste will move, but I don't mind that because it's not the VRAM and the VRMs that are getting hot. It's the CPU and GPU. That's the main issue pretty much the entire time. All right, so let me put these apart so I know exactly which screws I used on the bottom, and these are on the other side. So we will have to take this apart. Let me see if I have some sort of a card or something. Else I will just stick my fingers and pull this out. Seems like this part didn't unscrew properly, like this screw in here. I don't know if this is how it has to be, but we'll just try to pull a bit, and I think it will get out easily. Let me grab some sort of a card, and we will take this out. Okay, so I finally managed to get it open. All right, and now we have the whole thing down. Okay, so this is pretty clean. Let me see now. So the battery connector is here, so we will have to remove it. I will just pull this one gently. and it's done. And now we will pull the entire heatsink. So this is a cover in here that you have, and once you remove it, you kind of lose the warranty. I just wanted to try to do something. Maybe I can remove it and have it safely placed again. So let's see if I can do that gently. And it's done. I have it here, and I will be able to place it again, actually. And that's pretty good. So now let's do the repasting. So we will remove the entire thing, and let's see, I will use this one. I think this one is better. And we will remove all the screws. We will also have to unplug the fan connector, because it's in one piece, and it will get removed as well once I pull the heatsink. Or actually, yeah, it will. I think, yeah, it will. So let's remove the screws from this as well. I'll use this one. All right. These are some beefy fans. I mean, this one at least is pretty big. This is for the GPU. So let's remove this one. And now the heatsink. All right, I'm just looking to see how many screws we have in here. I also have to unplug the fan, and I bet the connector is under the NVMe, and this makes it a bit hard, but I will do that. So let's pull this one first, which is for this fan. All right. And now let's deal with the heatsink. So we have one. I'm really curious to see how bad the thermal paste application is, because I'm sure that it has to be awful. So we have only 3 screws for the CPU. On the previous model it had 4 screws in here, and now we have 3 and 4 for the GPU. So this one is harder to unscrew, so I will use this one. All right. The GPU temperatures that I had were pretty good actually. So I don't have an issue with the application on the GPU. It's more the CPU that has the issues, like always. So all right. Let me see if these ones are unscrewed properly. And now I will have to deal with this one. So we have to remove that cable. We have to disconnect it. So I will have to remove the SSD first, because it is under the SSD, which is kind of a bad design to be honest, but yeah. So the connector is under here, I can see it. I will just pull it out. I don't want to remove the SSD entirely. And we have it removed. Or let me just remove it actually. But I will have to remove the sticker. No, I don't want to do that. I will just leave it like this. and we will pull the entire heatsink out. So let me see how easy this will be able to get out from here. Let me see if I have any other screws that I missed. I don't think so. So let's pull this gently. So it is starting to come out. Something is holding it though. I think it's this side from here, but it should pop out. I do have one more screw in here, so let me remove these two. Maybe these two are holding it, I'm not sure. So let's do that first. We have one and another one here. Alright, so it should come out now. Let me see. There is one more actually. So we have one more screw in here holding these two. So let's remove these as well. This is a different design compared to the previous gen. So on the previous gen there were like no screws in here that were holding the heat sinks. And now we will have to remove those as well. Alright. So let's see now. It should pop out. Yeah, way easier. So first I will just take the fans out. Actually, I can't take it out individually, or can I? No, let's just take it out together. And we have it out. So, yeah, this looks like shit. It's like, can you see the application? I will also use the camera to zoom in on this. So this is terrible. Like, wow. So the CPU is on this side. The paste job is awfully done, like there's no liquid metal on the middle. And I was wondering, why am I getting bad temps? Also, look at this. So look at it, at this heatsink. It has no liquid metal on the heatsink as well. So there is some on the GPU, and that's why the GPU works well. But on the CPU, there's absolutely nothing in there, and we will be doing this properly. So I will leave the heatsink here. Let me see if I can do this in a way so you can see both. I don't think I can, but maybe if I reposition them, let me try. Like, wow, dude, like, look at this. This is a mess. Like, this is a damn mess. So let's do it like this. Okay. So let me just zoom in on the CPU and GPU in case you can't see it. So let me move the camera. I suck with this thing, so all right, let me snap it a bit. So yeah, can you see that? I'm sure you can. So that's the application done by them. So the liquid metal is all over the place actually, and it is very, very badly applied. So I will be doing this right now. I will leave the camera like this. So I will be doing the repasting. So we have, let me switch this. So we have the Conductonaut Extreme. I just bought this. We have the same paste basically. And I will take this little fella in here, this cotton swab, and I will take the liquid metal that is on the sides and reapply it back on the chip. And then I will add some additional liquid metal if there is not enough. So let me grab this first. This will take some time, but I can't believe how bad this was done. Like, wow. They also applied too much, like, that's why it leaked all over the place. but they have some sort of tape applied, which is great because this makes it way safer and it doesn't spill. But the application itself, like, I don't know who did this, but yeah. So if you are wondering why you have bad temps, just look at this and now you will know. That's how it goes. So you basically have to do this until you have like a fine layer of liquid metal. You don't need to have like a full pool of liquid metal in here, so it goes all over the place, but you must have a fine layer. So I'm doing this slowly, and there is more liquid metal in here on the sides, and I will take all of it. So I will take this one as well, and I will use it on the heatsink, or maybe apply some more on the CPU first. So this is how you do it properly. The CPU looks good right now. Like, look at how much liquid metal is spilled on the GPU on the sides. Like, wow, like how much did they apply? Like a full tube? Holy, this is way too much, like way too much. I can use this thing to pretty much paste the CPU and GPU at the same time, so it's a huge amount. Like, wow. As you can see on the VRAM and VRMs in here, there is already some thermal paste applied, but there's not much, to be honest. So if I had some thermal paste, I would have done this as well, but I don't. So unfortunately, I will have to leave this the way it is. But I don't, I'm not afraid of the VRMs getting hot or the VRAM getting hot. So usually that's not the issue, is these two. So, you know. Like, wow, there's so much in here. Yeah, like amazing. They just threw some liquid metal on them and it spilled all over the place. It's crazy. Like, how can you pay so much for such a machine and do such a bad job? Like, I don't know. You're basically screwing the customers doing this. I mean, this is not fine. I could pay like $4,000 for this or more. And you see something like this, and then you have high temps and you wonder why. Yeah. At least they should not remove the warranty from the customer if you decide to replace it on your own. I mean, if you pretty much break this thing while you are repasting it, then yeah, you should lose the warranty. But if you're doing a good job and you didn't short anything and your unit didn't die because you shorted it, then they should not remove your warranty because you repasted it. I mean, that's fair for me. Because if you didn't do your job, like, at least let me do it properly. So now the GPU is pretty much well repasted as well. Like, we have a nice layer in here. I will have to repaste this a bit because I touched it with my finger and I didn't notice actually. So let me repaste the CPU a bit. I will have to get some wet wipes. I have a few in here. So let me do this. I didn't pay attention to the fact that I was touching this with my finger. There's no liquid metal in here, so I didn't touch anything with it, but I have some on my finger and I will have to remove it. That's why we have to be very careful with this. I started talking and I wasn't thinking, so that happened. So I have some alcohol and I will use that. And now my finger is clean. All right, so let's get back to this. Let me get the cotton swab and I will do this again on the CPU because I moved some liquid metal from here. I might be slow doing this, but I want to be sure that this is perfect because I'm not going to do it like 1000 times again. So I want to be sure that this is done properly right now. All right, so I'll take care so I won't touch this again. All right, so my recording has stopped for some reason. So now I started again and I'm just wiping my fingers because I had some liquid metal left on them. And now it should be fine. So be careful with this because you can have some liquid metal left and you might touch something and it shorts out afterwards. So yeah, let me see if it's applied properly on the CPU again. All right. And the other thing that I want to do is to remove this. Because there's just way too much. Yeah, I'm just spreading it right now, basically. So it's better to leave it the way it is. Let me see if I can maybe use this again. So I have like one piece left in here. Let me see if I can grab it with the swab. Yes, I can, and I will add it there. I'll just leave it like this. I think it's fine. I will have to apply some liquid metal now on the heatsink. So I will zoom out the camera and change this maybe lower, something like this. And now I will apply liquid metal in here. So exactly on the pattern of the CPU and GPU, you can already see it in here, because once it stands on the CPU for a while, you will see the entire margin. So this is what you have to do to apply it properly. I might have to add some more. So let me actually take the heatsink and do this here. Apply it like this. So it is easier for me to do this. Also, let me zoom in so you can see it. This should be fine, I think. maybe like this. All right. So let's apply some liquid metal in here. So make sure that this looks shiny. So you'll have to do this until it becomes shiny. Like the same way that it looks on the CPU and GPU once you apply it. And once it looks well on both sides, you're good to go. I might have to apply some more on this. So you can basically see how much they put in here. That's why it went all over the place. So I have enough liquid metal to apply on both the heatsink and the CPU and GPU. So yeah, that was crazy. They applied like way too much. And also I have some liquid metal in here on the corners, I can see it. But I won't bother with it, I'll just leave it there. It won't move anyway. Okay. So I have a lot here in this corner, if you can see it. So in here, I have a lot of it. So I will take this one. If it's possible, and I will try to use it. It's kind of hard to remove it. So I will actually grab this. Let me see if I can pick it up. Yeah, I did. And now I will put it in here. That's kind of too much, but I can use that. So let's do it again. So it looks great. That's how it should be. So I needed a bit more. And maybe I will add a small drop on the CPU and a small drop on the GPU now. Just to be sure that I have enough so I don't have to do this again. So just a small one. Once you pop on this thing, it will leak like crazy. So you don't have to apply much force to this when you apply liquid metal. So let me zoom in on this again. All right. And let's apply just a bit. So we have one in here. And a small drop in here. Let's see if it's enough. Maybe a bit more on the CPU, just one more. Done. I think this is good right now. So I'm not sure if I have to add a bit more in here because it doesn't look that flashy compared to this one. So let me see if I have some space left on the swab. If I don't, I will just add some more. Yeah, I will add some more. I know that some of you might say that this is too much, but I don't really think this is too much. Because I kind of spread all this thing all the way. So it's not that messy, if you ask me. Compared to how Asus did it, I think this is way better, like 1000 times better. If you see that too much starts to leak from this tube, you can just pull it back a bit and you won't have that much. So let me see if I can spread it again. All right, so this is how this looks right now. Let me see if it's good in here again. I actually pulled some paste from here. It doesn't matter, it's fine. All right, and I think we are good. I think I have a small corner in here that is not covered. So let me do this. I know you can do this like way faster, but I prefer to take my time to do it properly. Like, I want to make sure that everything is covered well. So now it looks good to me. I know there is some left in here, but it doesn't matter. I don't want to bother with it. I will just leave it the way it is and reapply the whole heatsink back. So let me see if my fingers are clean. If not, I will just take some wipes and clean them. So let me wash my fingers just to be sure that I don't have any liquid metal left, and I'll get back in 10 seconds. All right, so now I am back and I will add the heatsink to the laptop. So let me zoom out first and we will add this back carefully. Let's see if the fan sticks out. Yeah, this one moves a bit. So let me see if I can do something about it. Maybe I can pick it up like this. And I think this should be good now. Is there anything wrong? Doesn't look like it. I think I will try to do this on the CPU again. Just a bit. I see here that there's not enough paste on this corner. So I will try to even it out. And now it looks good. Let me check again. I will spread the liquid metal from the heatsink a bit. So let me show you. As you can see, the entire pattern of the CPU is not covered because it is way wider. And I pretty much made like a longer square in there. So I have to make it wider. So let me make this wider and I will show it to you afterwards. Because the entire area is not covered properly and I don't want to do that. and it's done. And now it looks like this. As you can see, so I covered the entire area for the CPU, so it's way better. So now, let me grab this thing. And it's time to put this back. So let me be sure that I'm doing this properly. All right. Looks good on this side. Looks good on this side. And that was it. Done. Now, let's plug in the connector for the fan first. All right. Let me add the screw back. And I think that I've done a good job right now. Like, the results should be considerable for the benchmark. That's how I will know if I did a good job or not. So let me add the screws first, and then we will add the connectors. So first I will add these two screws in here. So first one. And the second one here. And now I will screw these. As you can see now, here we have an order. I know that you can see this on camera, but here we have some numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, so you have to screw this in order to apply even pressure. So I will do this now. Screw the first one, second one, and third one. Also make sure that you apply enough pressure on them so it stays tight and it doesn't leave any space. And now we will apply the screws on the CPU. So I'll apply the first here. Then I will apply the second screw on the opposite order. So we have some sort of an X, like this. So we can apply even pressure. Another way to do it is to screw all of these screws like in a circular order, but you don't have to screw them tightly. Just screw them a bit, and then you can screw them tightly one by one. So there are different ways of doing this, but it doesn't matter. In the end, the result will be similar. The most important thing is to add liquid metal properly, as I've done it, and you won't have any issues. Alright, so now that this is done, let me see what else do I have to do. So I have to screw the fans. So let me screw the fans right now. 1, 2, let me put the connector, and the connector is back in, and I will hide it in here. All right, now we have these two. I can also add the sticker back, like this sticker. And I can say that this is better than factory right now, pretty much. Let me add the connector. I'm sorry for the background noise, can't do much about it. And it is done. So that's how you pretty much do it. I'm hoping that the results are good and I didn't miss something, but it should be fine. So let me put the cover back. We will tie the screws and I will go into the benchmark right away and we will see the temps and the results. If the temps are worse than they were before, then I screwed things up, but I don't think so. But we will see that together. So let me put this back. All right, all good. I won't tie these screws yet because I want to receive the results first and then I will tie the screws. So I will just open the laptop and power it on. I made it a bit dirty in here. It's all good. I even have this one on it, so I haven't removed it. So let me take the charger. I will plug this thing and we will look at the benchmark results. So now that we did the repasting, how much of an improvement did we get from this? I'm telling you that the results are huge. Not a small improvement, but a huge improvement, because the paste job that Asus did on this coroutine that I have in here was super bad. So I had 26,600 in Cinebench R23. Right now, look how much did I have. So let me point the camera. I have 31.8. So this is the default score without undervolting. So keep that in mind. Let me show this to you again. So I will open throttle stop. And as you can see, I have no undervolting whatsoever. So nothing on the CPU, nothing on the P cache, nothing on the E cache. I will run this again just to prove it to you. But the results are considerable. So I have 25% more or something like that, higher score, or 22% more. So yeah, if you are getting low scores and you are wondering why, then Asus did a crappy job on your pasting. And if you have another unit and you have the same thing, the same issue, again, the pasting job is awful. So let me see. Now I have again 31.8. Pointing the camera again, as you can see in there. So we have the same score. Now let me undervolt it. And my CPU is pretty capable because I tried this before when the pasting job was bad and I was getting decent results. So let's crank this thing up right now. We will go minus 150 on the core. We'll go 180 on the P cache. And 130 on the E cache. The E cache doesn't make a huge difference. So let's say 140. I will apply this and let's see how much can we get now. The max that I got before was 33,000, and that was with undervolting and with the crappy paste job. Now I expect to get like 35,000 or somewhere close. So let's wait a bit. 44,700. So as I said, this is the difference. It's quite considerable. If you are having issues and you can do the repasting on your own, do it. The results will be great. And is it worth it to risk the warranty? If you're not familiar with doing this, I would say no. But if you have some experience and you did this before, definitely repaste your CPU and GPU, because if you are getting bad temps or the core differences, the temperature differences between the cores is too high, like 10 degrees or higher, there is definitely a bad pasting job done by the manufacturer. So thank you guys for watching all the way, and see you in the next video.